Now let me show you the coolest part of creating a procedure in Zendesk Advanced AI. Generate procedure, here we go. Here it is, right? You see this, generate a procedure for me. Start, collect, identify invoice number, collect request changes, submit a verification request, confirm to user. All right, so this is what my procedure looks like. It's created a version 1. I organized the flow into sequential subflows. Good for you, bro. Zendesk Advanced AI is now at its most mature phase. And today I'm going to walk you through on what that looks like. My name is Dominic, customer experience guy, CCXP now. I've been a Zendesk consultant. This is my 13th year. And since waters have calmed down and Zendesk has kind of started to figure out what it's doing with AI, and everybody for that matter has started to figure out what's going on, the waters are somewhat stable and I'm able to show you something cool. Like, this is a mature product, looks good, it works well, and it will supercharge your automation. So this can automate up to 80% of your tickets. In this video, we're going to look at what's new, what it looks like, the Zendesk Advanced AI. We're going to build out a use case and we're going to look at prices. How much does this actually cost? So by the end of this video, you'll have the tools and the courage to go in Zendesk and build this stuff out yourself. Before we continue, please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'd be so grateful. I keep forgetting about asking you guys, and the numbers show it. Only like 6% of you are subscribing now. So let's continue with the video. This version of Advanced AI is something that supposedly Zendesk is going to roll out to everybody. Now, it doesn't matter what kind of account you're on. You can go ahead, set it up yourself, and then they will just charge you based on resolutions. Allegedly. I don't know how things are going to change. Things have changed so much recently. If you've been on this channel, I've covered Zendesk and the AI stuff it had going on up to a point when it started to be too confusing, and to everybody's credit, everybody was very confused on where this was going. But Zendesk has cooked and has cooked well. I'm in my Zendesk, and now at the menu here from the left drop down, I can scroll down to AI agents. Now, if you don't see this exact interface, it's because it's not been rolled out to you. You're going to see this is a whole universe itself. So this is the ultimate AI functionality. It's a startup that Zendesk bought like maybe 2-3 years ago. And they have gate kept this information from you because they wanted you to upgrade. Then they wanted to sell you a platform fee. Then they wanted to set you a setup fee. And then they wanted to charge you based on resolutions. And all this because, AI was so new and the greediness was high. Now it's a little bit more stable, fortunately. So look, the dashboard, super uninteresting. Very quickly, now we're going to have some reports where you see how the bot is doing. By far the most interesting and the place where you spend most time configuring this is the content. Then you have conversation logs, like the conversation the bot has, some settings like with language and blah. AI management, super generic, doesn't matter. Organization management doesn't matter. This one is the second most interesting one. API integrations and then custom CRMs. So these are the three most important ones. So API integrations with CRMs, customer relationship management systems. Now, let's go back to content. So the content menu has use cases, templates, and segments. These are how the agent responds. This is the equivalent, if you want, of its brain. This is its logic, its conversation flows. So this is what makes the difference in how smart it can be. Now, the knowledge and search rules, this is what the agent knows. This is what you feed it. This is like when you give it books to read up on, becoming an expert in something. And then actions and entities, this is what the bot can actually do and what it can collect. So this is what is like kapow, let's do stuff. And then the personalization is how the bot sounds. Now, point number 2 on this video is going to be the use cases. Let's talk about a use case. Now, use cases are the flows that run through your business, that run through your support system. What exactly you want your bot to do, like what you cover essentially. So in your business, depending on the complexity, depending on the maturity of your company, you can have like from 5 use cases, you can have up to 50 to 500. So this is very custom from niche to niche, and each niche with each business has its own particular stuff because everybody's unique. So today we're going to tackle a use case that I have to deal with as a business owner quite often. And that is, I use my company credit card to pay for services. And because some of these services either don't ask you for your company details when you pay, you have to add them later on. And that's a bit stressful because I always have to add my freaking company details afterwards. And sometimes they're like, oh, sorry, we charged you already. So just from the next invoice on, we're going to be able to add your company details. But anyway, this is a case where I pay with my company credit cards and then I'm like, bro, I paid, I have to justify the costs. Give me my invoice with my company details so it reflects, right? So I can deduce for tax purposes. Now, bear in mind, we're going to build out one use case. You need dozens in your business, okay? So what I'm trying to hint at as well is that this is part of a long series of videos that I will be making about Zendesk Advanced AI, right? Because today we're just going to cover, let's create a use case with the help of which by the end of this video, you'll be able to do stuff on your own. By the way, if you enjoy the content, I'd be really grateful if you subscribe to this YouTube channel and you let me know what you think in the comments, and I will get back to you. I'd be really grateful, and thank you so much. So let's create a use case here on the top right. Let's create a use case, and let's call this modify billing details. Modify billing details. This is what I want, okay? Customer request reason. So example, customer writes and asks to change their billing details. Good. Select a category. I don't have a category. Let's create this. Boom. So now you have to understand the difference between procedure and dialogue. So a procedure is something which the bot has kind of a freehand thing. You give it some steps to follow and it generates its own answers. And dialogue is something like fixed in stone. It's very, very clear on what it's supposed to do. It does not ever deviate. I like the procedure because it's a little bit more modern. It's a little bit cooler and it leaves space to have like a conversation, a normal conversation. It doesn't feel so robotic. The dialogue, very robotic. And procedure is more like, hey, how are you? Let's do it. Let's change it. So in here below, I have some other use cases that I have built out. So damaged item, refund, order status. As you can see, there are some system replies. These are some dialogues which are by default, which you need. For example, knowledge reply, when the bot finds something in the knowledge base and replies, then you have an escalation reply, then you have a technical response, you have a welcome reply. So like, hey, how are you, right? These kinds of things, and asking, for example, for bot satisfaction, like how good was my response. These are all already pre-built for you because you need them anyway. Okay, so now you start personalizing this. Okay, so now let's go to modify billing details. Let's click our baby up. What I can do now is, okay, so reply method, use procedure or use the dialogue. I'm going to leave it to use procedure. I can go here and create procedure, and we're not going to do that just yet. Right now, what we need to do is to define our use case. So my procedure looks more or less something like this. So this is why I like procedure so much. How you can think about this is like a very logical 1, 2, 3, what's supposed to happen thing, which I like a lot because it gives me space to think like a human, or like I think. So first thing, like when you want to change an email, what do you want to do? What do you have to do? Like what would an agent need to do? Like what would a human need to do? Somebody comes in and says, I want to change my billing details, or I want you to add my company details. Well, who are you? Give me your email address, Mr., Sir, Madam, they, whatever. Just give me your email address so I can verify you. Okay, then, what invoice would you like me to change? Can you tell me your invoice number? Right? Logical. Then what do I have to do? I have to go in and search, like, is this an actual person? Is this invoice actually exist? Oh, yes, here it is. Or no, I don't know this person, or I don't know this invoice. Then I've identified it. All good. I have to ask, what would you like to change? Would you like to change your name, your address, your tax ID, whatever? Then once they give me their information and it's valid and it's good and I find it, I ask, okay, what would you like to change? And then they give me that information and then I save it and I'm done. So from this procedure, I want to draw your attention to step number 3, call backend to verify. Okay, right? So I need to verify if this invoice number is valid, and a bot can't know this unless it searches it somewhere, right? It searches it in your backend. That's why everything here is so custom, is because however many backends there are, that's however many use cases you have to build. So I can never build this out specifically for your use case in this video because I don't know your backend. I would need to know your backend. I need to know an API. I'll show you how that looks like in just a second. Then I have another step here, step number 5, which says make post request to modify billing details. So I want to modify the billing details. I have to call an API again and say, okay, so the customer gave me this information. Now go to the backend, to my backend data, and modify the billing information. That's it. I should be done. Now, what I need to do is I need to create these in Zendesk. I need to create these in Advanced AI. Okay, so now in use cases, all good. I'm going to go to here, API integrations, and then from the top right, I have add integration. I call this one get billing data. I don't give it a description, and then I save it up. Okay, now it starts to get a little bit technical. So in here, in environment, I have production, which is my live environment. I can create another one to have development or testing, whatever you want to call it. This one by default is called production, and then I have the methods. So this one has a few options in here. Don't get scared. So this is a get, which is get means like get over here. Like for any millennial out there who maybe knows this joke from Mortal Kombat, get over here. No? Doesn't matter. So gets information. This is what it gets information. All good. Post is it posts information. It shows it for you. Put it modifies it for you. Patch, I don't know. This one I don't know. Then delete, obviously it deletes it. Okay. So in here, I need to paste in my API URL. So I have one already built out, and I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it in here. Now, anybody who's a developer, you can roast me in the chat. Go ahead. This is indeed a dummy API from Mockfly, because as many systems as there are out there, this is how many API requests or API URLs exist. So yes, this is dummy, but this is just to show you how you can actually do this yourself. Okay, good. So this has been added, and now I go to success. These are the scenarios. It's either a success, it does find it. It does find this person, or it doesn't. It's a failure. No, I don't know who this person is. Or fallback. Fallback is like an additional, like, can we try again? Okay, but we're just going to focus on success. When it does find a person, it calls the API, it looks for an email and an invoice number, and it finds it. Success message, okay? So I'm going to go here in success, and I'm going to click add parameter. I'm going to call this one a billing data. Billing data. And then in query, I'm going to say data. And I'm going to put parenthesis, this one, yeah, the square parenthesis, and then dot billing underscore data. Okay, good. So now test production. Doesn't work. Oh, yeah, because I have to save it first. Save this one. And now let's test. Here we go. You see this information here? Yeah, this is an example of billing information and how a response from the API looks like. And this is perfect. This is exactly what it's meant to look like. And this is what it's going to look like for you too, or should. By the way, if you enjoy the content, I'd be really grateful if you subscribe to this YouTube channel and you let me know what you think in the comments, and I will get back to you. I'd be really grateful, and thank you so much. Okay, good. So I have built this one. Get information from the API, all good. Now I have to build out the right information. Like once it gets this information, it shows it to the customer. Customer says, yeah, I want to change my tax ID, and then it's going to change the tax ID. So we're going to have to build out another API, which modifies billing details. So let's go back here to API integrations, and then I'm going to add here an integration. Let's call this one modify billing details. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing. I'm just going to copy my billing data. I'm just going to copy this, paste it up. Then I'm going to go to success, and I'm going to add a parameter, and I'll call this one data. Then I'll call this one data, high parentheses, 0 dot billing data dot tax underscore ID. All right, let's save this up, and now let's test production. It didn't work. So in here, we're going to get post, save this up. Let's go back to scenarios. Let's test production. Yes, it worked. Okay, right. I forgot. So this one, as I said earlier, this is not a get information. This is a post information somewhere. And posting information means modifying in the backend. Okay, now it works. Let me go back to success. Okay, good. So this is my response from the API. This is a response value example. All good. So I have created my API. Let's go back to content. Let's go back to the use case. Now let me show you the coolest part of creating a procedure in Zendesk Advanced AI, or the coolest part about using the Zendesk Advanced AI. So in here, in this one, I see here a text dialog, a chat dialog, which is the most fun thing ever, because you can just free type like whatever you want it, however you want it, and however you think about it, you can just type it in here. And let's just do it. So I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to paste it, right? Remember when we talked about what the steps are? Look, so ask the customer for their email address, ask customer for their invoice number, call backend to verify the invoice number. So now what we do is we put a plus here, and in actions, check it out. I have here some actions, and I have some API integrations. Remember what we created earlier? This is where we get billing data, and we called it here. We're calling the API. We're telling the bot, call the API. Go ahead, bro. Just do your thing. All right. Ask customers what they want to change. Make post requests to modify billing details. This is where step number 5, we call the API again and we tell, okay, according to what they told you, modify the billing details. All right, so let's just going to do the plus thing again. Just do API integrations and then modify billing details. Boom. Now what we do is like the coolest part is to generate procedure. And now we just sit back, watch the screen and look how much of a hacker we are. Just like in the movies where the actors were typing at the keyboard and hacking the Pentagon. Well, here we go. Here it is, right? You see this generated a procedure for me. Start, collect, identify invoice number, collect request changes, submit a verification request, confirm to user. All right, so this is what my procedure looks like. It's created a version 1. I organized the flow into sequential subflows. Good for you, bro. Now, let's do a test procedure because we want to see how this works. So by default, when I click test procedure, this opens up my bot, like my widget here, and we're going to test it. So may I kindly ask you to share your email address so we can assist you further? Yes, this is this one, info@roca.work. This is where you can reach out if you need help setting this up, by the way. May I kindly ask you to provide your invoice number so we can assist you further? Yes, it's INV dash All right. Exciting. Okay. Could you please specify which billing details you would like to update, such as address, company name, payment method, tax ID, please? This is where I bust my balls. I need to add my tax ID to all these invoices. Thank you for letting me know you wish to update your tax ID. Could you please provide the new tax ID you would like us to use? Yes, use this one. Let's go. Your billing details have been updated successfully. The new tax ID on the file is da-da-dum. How may I assist you further? You are dismissed. You did well. This worked like a charm. I wanted the bot to make some mistakes so I can go in and show you how you can just go ahead and type and just ask it to change stuff. And it hacks the Pentagon again and it updates things for you. But it seems that it did a good job from the first try, which is amazing. Okay, so this is it. This is how you create one flow. Okay, you have to create dozens. Depending on your business, you have at least half a dozen custom ones and a few dozen if you are a serious company. This is, again, a bit technical. You have to have somebody who's a dev involved or somebody who has the consultancy and dev skills, which is very rare. By the way, I have a team that is helping me with this stuff. We are certified in advanced AI and Zendesk partners, resellers, and yeah, we live and breathe this stuff every day. And you can reach out if you need help. Just go to the website roca.work/offers and you have here get quotes and you can get a quote and yeah, you just select how large your team is, 50 to 1K agents, and you need optimizing AI setup. You need an AI setup. Click this one and then you have maybe self-service, which implies also having knowledge base. You then continue with what service you're coming from, Zendesk. Okay, you leave there your name and email and your role, and then you get a quote, and that's it. You're done. Now let's see the pricing for the Zendesk stuff. So as far as pricing, this is why I actually stopped making videos because it was so unclear what this was going to cost. The previous discussion with this advanced AI stuff was a platform fee, a setup fee, and then a resolution fee, which was very greedy in my view. You would also have to pay your agent seats, of course, and you also had to pay advanced AI, which is like an add-on. 5 different fees for just one service. Remember when the craze was about these new TVs coming out, the really thin ones, and it were a gajillion billion dollars for one TV set, and this technology was made available. Everybody started making them and the prices just dropped. We're in that phase where it's dropping. It's dropping like crazy. You still have to pay for the seats in Zendesk, for the agent seats, and then you have to pay allegedly only for the resolutions, which from my understanding, check back with me again because I don't work at Zendesk. It's just these things come and everybody has a different opinion. There was a discussion to make everything just available based on the resolutions, and then they changed their minds again, and you still have to pay for the agent seats in Zendesk, and now you just pay for the resolution, not for the platform fee, not for the add-on. But anyway, I might be confusing you more. Is because I'm confused, it's because Zendesk is confused, it's because the world is confused about what the damn AI stuff can do and it can't do. It can definitely automate the freak out of your business. Not all of it, but most of the repetitive stuff. Now it's handled. All good. So supposedly you pay $2 per resolution. So you don't pay for the add-on, you don't pay for the platform fee, you just pay for the resolution fee. That's good, but $2 per resolution. There was the discussion about $1.5 per resolution. I don't know anymore, but this is what I think is is going to be happening. So if we recap, you pay for the agent seats and then you pay for resolution, and that's kind of it. That's all of it. That's all you have to pay. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe. I'd be very grateful, and I will see you in the next one.